So, guys, we are quickly spiraling towards a miserable dystopia. They came after social media, they've come after YouTube, now they're coming after video games. We know that gamers are being arrested, they're tracking the games that men are playing, they are putting us under surveillance. Well, it gets worse. Microsoft has warned developers against making sexy female characters with this new insane product inclusion framework. We're going to jump into the video, but this is one of the reasons why in games like Spider-Man, Mary Jane looks absolutely terrible, but we're going to get to that.
Microsoft has been doing their very best to combat what they deem as toxicity on their platforms, and now we're finding out for Xbox they have a new Gaming for Everyone product inclusion framework, which is one of the wokest things that I have seen in a long time. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, headed on over to an archive because I don't want to reference their actual site. I'm not going to give them a click. It says incorporate stories and themes from marginalized communities or emerging markets in a relatable way. So this is just a DEI framework for developers to follow. It talks about breasts in video games and chainmail armor. It talks about, do your characters all look the same? I mean, it is ridiculous. So at the top, it says, having your story told is a universal human need, but for many in marginalized communities or in markets outside of the US, it's rare to be represented in media, let alone games, and as a result, some people could feel like a secondary consumer for our content, which is a complete and utter lie. Over the past couple of years, Hollywood, the gaming industry, they have been focused on diversifying their content. They have been trying their best to, on set, have behind the scenes, developers and production crews who are diverse, but also on camera, we have shows like The Acolyte coming out that's a female-centric series with, women of color in it. We have video games like Forspoken releasing and Flintlock releasing, and we have titles like God of War Ragnarok, which race swap characters. Same thing happened with Alan Wake 2. I mean, we are talking about industries that have certainly diversified over the past few years, but they want to completely ignore that in order to push this new ESG DEI framework. It says questions to consider. Are you telling new stories or sharing new perspectives within the product experience? Do all of your characters and player depictions look the same? What steps have you taken to ensure characters are represented respectfully and authentically? And of course, they say that these are not requirements for their games, but it's just a framework so that, if you're a developer and a creator who isn't really sure if you're doing the most for whoever your audience is, that you can really look through this checklist. And they're saying that, this isn't going to be implemented into our development process, but clearly it is. Why else would you create this? And within this, one of the most hilarious and pathetic parts is, are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? They have exaggerated body proportions? So basically, is your game realistic? Do your characters fit into this realism bubble that we are trying to push on you? It should be fine if a developer wants to create a character that has exaggerated body proportions. We see that with men and women in video games, and that should not be a negative thing. I and most people want to look at the exaggerated. We want to look at the absolutely beautiful, appealing characters that developers can create. If we wanted to look at a normal looking character, we would look at real people. We are talking about video games here, and it's fine to have average looking characters too, but it should not be some negative thing if they want to create characters with exaggerated body proportions, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal if female characters are equipped with clothing and armor that do not fit their task. We are talking about fictional characters doing fictional things. If I'm playing a mage and I'm using fucking lightning bolt and lava blast, it should not matter if my character is in a chainmail bikini. That should not be the worry. The worry should be, does the game run properly? Are the graphics good? Is it technically solid? Are there bugs and glitches? Does the armor itself look good?
I mean, this is where we're headed right now. I don't know if the game was called Forspoken, but there was a game that came out. Maybe it was from Square Enix or maybe one of these companies, and the game was trash. The game was absolute trash. It was just, it was woke garbage. And of course, the people who are involved in this game, like the voice actors and the models used for them, they're like so super woke, and they think that the entire thing is all about them. Many of you I know already know about the whole Snow White controversy, where the actress involved basically said that the movie was no longer going to be about Snow White being saved by a prince, but instead they had moved on to that, and it was now progressive. If you look at Peter, for example, Peter's face is so ugly, and I don't mean to say it like that. Like, guys, like, I don't know, like, what? It's so sad. We used to have pretty people in games. Like, this is not even an attractive character. Look at his face. Oh, it's because it's more realistic now. That's absolute BS. That is absolute BS. I want someone who's good looking. Someone that looks like Tom Holland, maybe, or Andrew Garfield, or can we at least get Tobey Maguire? But here we have people that are just kind of blah. It's like they're losing their humanity. They're trying to take away any type of any aspect that might makes a character look attractive or even have distinct features. You're not supposed to find them handsome or pretty or good looking in any way. It's like just almost very generic and ugly. Look at this character right here. That looks like Anita Sarkeesian. And that's 100% deliberate. 100% deliberate. They don't want characters to have real personalities anymore. It's all about, getting men to obey. It's all about sending in a political narrative. I mean, a lot of you guys don't know this, but come 2026, there's going to be this chip installed in every new car. It's not only electric cars, it's going to be all new cars. And I was reading from one of the comments in the comment section, and they provided additional information. And basically, it's a kill switch where the police can stop your car at any given moment, and they don't even have to turn on their flashing lights anymore, or anything like that. They just press a button, and it pulls you over at the side of the road and cuts your engine. And it's basically a driving prison. Like, this cars now become driving prisons. And of course, there's an aspect of this of them taking advantage of this technology. Furthermore, I didn't know this, but the car is supposed to detect if there's any trace of alcohol in the air. And if there's any trace of alcohol in the air, yep, then the car is not supposed to start. I mean, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. So it's like, why would you even buy one of these things anymore? Well, you have to do what you have to do to get around. So the cost of older vehicles is going to skyrocket. Because who the hell wants one of these things? Who wants to be under constant surveillance? I don't know. And that's the sad world we're in right now. Guys, don't forget, I have another channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to it in the description of the video. Go check the channel out, subscribe, support my work, buy my album. I also have another channel called Men Walking Away. And if you're enjoying content that's on this channel, then you'll find tons and tons of additional content over on Men Walking Away that's just like this content. the content on the Angry Guy channel. So you can find a link to the Men Walking Away channel description of the video if you want more of this kind of content. You know, go subscribe to the channel, support my work, subscribe to Angry, support my work. What do you guys think regarding this? Because this is basically the direction that things are going in indefinitely. The writing has been on the wall for a very long time, right? For a very long time. And now we're facing the consequences of all of this. You know, you can see that Microsoft is trying to control the narrative. They're trying to control the way that games overseas are being developed. So it's like, while there has been some pushback, the goal is right now to stamp out, you know, to make this thing a global thing. I mean, the Pokemon company has made it clear that they're hiring like diversity officers, and you know, and they're going to stamp out any type of toxicity within their community. And you have to remember that the Pokemon people are lunatics. You know, the people who play Pokemon, they're absolutely insane. So it doesn't really matter what happens, because they'll play Pokemon no matter what. It's just like the Doctor Who people. They don't care. They're just going to watch it anyway. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think regarding everything we discussed here. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away, and cheers.